The incident lasted only a minute or so. It happened 60 miles off the Libyan coast in northern Africa. American officials labeled it an unprovoked attack against an F-14 squadron that was part of pre-announced military maneuvers in the area. The news of the early morning attack was unexpected, but the result was not.
After being fired upon, the Navy F-14s from the aircraft carrier USS Nimitz took defensive action in response and shot down both Libyan aircraft.
The Libyan pilot of one of the planes went down, was seen to go down by parachute, and the American pilots have returned to the Nimitz and had no injuries and, of course, no damage to the planes.
Oceania is largely F-14 country. Most of the Tomcat squadrons deployed by the Navy are based here. Pilots here know the F-14's capability, and they know it well.
I will say that the F-14 outclasses most aircraft that it has to face. I'm not here to address a given situation. I'll address the F-14's capabilities. And in a given scenario against any world aircraft, the F-14 is a superior machine.
While officials were careful about discussing specifics, they steered clear of any judgments regarding the Libyan incident. They did not hesitate praising the performance of both the planes and the crews that spend thousands of hours in F-14 flight simulators, practicing the art of aerial dogfighting. It is that skill that prevailed in the skies over the Mediterranean Sea. Probably, the Navy says, because of simple air superiority, and probably because the Libyans in Soviet-built tactical fighters simply chose the wrong target.
I would say that they picked the wrong cats by picking that type airplane, for sure, and a carrier or a squadron that has left Oceania or Norfolk area 2 weeks ago is at their peak level of training and readiness.
This was, for the record, the first time F-14s were used in real aerial combat. During the news conference today, the question came up as to whether or not there was any surprise here that the plane and the crew performed as effectively as they did. Well, apparently there was no surprise, because after 15 years of training and 15 years of practice, what happened was what was expected to happen. At NAS Oceania, Howard Jaffe, The Daily News.
5 days after the brief air battle with Libyan planes, the aircraft carrier Nimitz pulled into port at Naples this morning. Many of the thousands of men who were part of the 16-ship task force that challenged Libyan territorial claims in the Mediterranean came ashore for leave. Among them, Lieutenant Dave Coutinho, an A-6 intruder pilot aboard the Nimitz. What was the reaction on the ship when it was announced 2 Libyan jets had been shot down?
It was a very positive reaction. The guys were really excited about it. There again, they were saying that they were glad that we were finally back, we were backing up what we were saying.
But Dorothy Thomas's reaction was somewhat different. She nervously waited on shore for her husband, a boatswain's mate aboard the Nimitz. She said she was awfully happy to see the ship off Naples this morning and had been scared by the news of the air battle, frightened that the situation might escalate.
I think everybody was. I thought they'd make a bigger deal out of it than it was.
But when the Admiral's launch from the Nimitz pulled up to the dock this morning, Mrs. Thomas's husband, Raymond, came bounding off it, and the couple was reunited. Had Mrs. Thomas had anything to be worried about?
No, no reason to worry at all.
Jim Bitterman, NBC News, Naples.